Hey, HannahMouse1 here. Welcome to another devlog for A Farmer's Life, the farming game that I'm making in Scratch. In this video, I'll be sorting out the furniture store that I started a few episodes back. First, I had to add the 4 existing furniture items that I have in the farmhouse to the inventory. There's the basic wardrobe, bed, table, and chair. Each of these needed an icon and a name label. I will of course add more furniture options down the line, but I was working on a bit of a tight deadline for this video and needed to work with what I had. I'd also like to add more furniture with functionality, like how the wardrobe lets you dress the player, for example. I was thinking maybe a stereo or a jukebox or something that lets you choose any of the soundtracks for the game to play in your house or something. I don't know, I added these 4 items to the item index and I gave them their places in the inventory. This required me to make a new inventory tab to accommodate them, the furniture tab, which required its own icon based on a table and a name label in the big title font. I then copied these items' icons as well as icons for all the walls and floors into a new sprite. I recolored these into the reds of the furniture store UI, and for all the walls and floors I duplicated their recolored icons and added the green unlock tick mark that I've used in the lab and barn for other single purchase items. I also needed to make 3 title costumes for the different types of items, walls, floors and furniture. I started off by using the mid-size font for these, but I wound up swapping to the smaller font as I realised that the furniture title wouldn't fit very well otherwise. I copied in the arrow costumes that I've used throughout my project and coloured them to match the rest of the UI. I then got that UI to display on the furniture store page, with the arrows changing their X position to match the width of the title block. Next I focused on getting the correct item icons to appear on the correct tabs, as well as delete any of these items when you switch tabs. I also needed a way of logging what floors and walls were unlocked or otherwise, which required me to add in a couple new lists to contain that information. This allowed me to make sure that the costumes for these switched to their ticked out versions where appropriate. And then I sorted out the mouse over effects for each of the items, starting by setting the mouse over variable for each item and getting it to highlight when moused over. I also made any items that you can't afford be dimmed out, which for the walls and floors required yet more lists to record these values, as unlike the furniture they're not considered items and therefore don't have prices in the run-of-the-mill item index. I also needed to get the prices of these to display when moused over, as well as the UI to state whether or not you bought the walls and floors, or how many of each piece of furniture you own. The UI for the furniture was easy enough because it's the same as so many of the other shops, but the walls and floors needed a lot more fiddling and trial and error to get sorted correctly. Then I made it so that you can purchase any of these items and walls and floors. Started with the furniture because I knew that it was just a drag and drop copy paste job for one of the many other shops that I've already made, and I also added in the code to unlock the walls and floors, which wasn't too tough. It just had to change a value in the appropriate lists and adjust your money accordingly. And finally I put together the shop soundtrack. I wanted this to have an Indian feel to it, to mirror the shopkeeper Sasha's yearning to go back to her home country. The issue with this is that I'm not overly competent at music making, and I was also composing in a specific style that I'm even less familiar in, and this was also one of the first times that I felt truly limited by Soundtrap's free library, with traditional Indian instruments being dangled tantalizingly behind a paywall. But I worked with what I had, making a main melody and duplicating it across several different instruments, changing the notes, pitches and reverb that these are played on, at and with respectively, until I had something which was not necessarily perfectly traditional but in the correct vibe, and I added these to the game's music manager sprite so that it plays as appropriate. And that's all I got done for this week, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did, it lets me know there's something to see more of. Join the Discord link down below, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!